record now, and we are set to go. We welcome questions, but recognize that the chat can easily become distracting and overwhelming for others and for ourselves. So we ask you to try to save your questions for the end of our presentation. And then there'll be a time that we have dedicated for you to put questions into the chat where Madame Rollo will be monitoring them. And we'll make sure that we try to answer your questions as best as possible. If you have lingering questions at the end, or those that are a little bit more specific to your own child, please don't hesitate at all to reach out to us at the school through phone call or email, or you'll find us out on the playground at the end of the day there too, or before school, and we'd be happy to have further conversation with you to make sure that you have the information you need to make the best choice for your child. We'd like to also take a moment to acknowledge that we are gathering to meet tonight on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Michif and Métis Nations. And when we glance just across the river at the bottom of the traffic bridge, we see the statue of Chief Whitecap and John Lake right near River Landing there. It's very close to where they were when they negotiated a space to begin a new temperance colony in the early 1880s. The colony, of course, needed a school, and that school was to become Victoria School and known as the Little Stone Schoolhouse, which was built on this site in 1888 and helped to establish what would become the city of Saskatoon. So when we see the statue of John Lake and Chief Whitecap, it helps remind us of the gift that we have in being able to learn and work together in this space that is close to the Meewasin Valley along the South Saskatchewan River. We recognize fully our privilege of being here, and we recognize our responsibilities as community members and as educators in this space, and that we have those responsibilities under the agreements of the treaties. So thank you again for joining us. We are all treaty people, and I'm going to turn it over to Sarah Rollo just to do some introductions.
Merci, Gwen. Bonjour, mes amis. My name is Sarah Rollo, and I am the Vice Principal here at Ecole Victoria School and also the grade 1 teacher. We are so beyond grateful that you are able to join us this evening, and we are so excited to meet you and your children as we embark on their new journey through formal schooling. There are just a couple of other people who we want to introduce to you before we hand you over to our excellent kindergarten team this evening. The first person who I would love to introduce to you is Madame Roach. Sue Roach is our incredible administrative assistant. She is the first person you will speak to when you phone, likely the first person you will see when you are able to come into the building, hopefully soon, and the one that really knows what's going on in the building. She really does keep us all on track. Madame Roach, can you give a big wave? And the second person who I have the pleasure of introducing to you this evening is Gretchen Peterson. She is our School Community Council chairperson. The School Community Council is one way for parents to get involved and have a voice in decisions at the school level. Gretchen is here to share a little with you about the role of the SCC and Parent Council.
Good evening. Thank you, Madame Rollo. Yes, my name is Gretchen, and I am the current president of the Parent Council. I've been the president for 2 years now, and I've been a parent at Ecole Victoria since 2016 when my son entered kindergarten. And I'm so grateful for our school and our school community and the hard work of our staff and teachers, which has, of course, become very evident this past year. A little bit about the Parent Council. We meet once a month, usually, or it has been on Monday evenings at 6:30. This past year, we, of course, have been meeting on Zoom. And like most things in our life, we figured out how to make that work really well, even over Zoom. And some of the things that we look at are, we look at fundraising opportunities within our school community to help have funds to help our teachers and our students be able to do certain things, or when we have extracurricular activities, again, hopefully we help to raise funds for those and field trips. But yeah, we just help do fundraisers, help do community building events. Of course, all that has looked very different this year, but we've found different ways to reach out to our parents in our school. And the other thing that is really great, which is the SCC side of things, is we have Madame Fournier and Madame Rollo join us every month, and they help us learn about different ways our children learn the material that's presented to them, different strategies, different learning objectives, different things that the teachers are doing to keep up with their own learning. And that's been really interesting for us, I know, as a parent council. So I look forward to meeting some of you either at school on the playground or at our meetings next year. And if you have any other questions about joining parent council at any point, either now or in September, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email address is usually in the school newsletter, or Madame Fournier and Madame Rollo and Madame Roach know how to get a hold of me. So welcome to Ecole Victoria, and I look forward to meeting some of you.
Thank you so much, Gretchen. Now for the people that you guys are really excited to see, and we would like to introduce you to Madame Kira Fife and Madame Jessica Anderson. So take it away, mes amis.
Merci, Madame Rollo. Hi, everyone. My name is Madame Kira Fife, and this is my third year at EVS teaching kindergarten. I teach full-time kindergarten, so the Monday, Wednesday, and the Tuesday, Thursday class. And just a little bit about me, I am from a small town in Saskatchewan called Gravelbourg. And I was also a student who went through French immersion. So I think that there's so many awesome benefits to French immersion. And I'm excited that a lot of you will be starting your journey in kindergarten. And you might know me last year as Madame Dilsner. I got married last summer, so my new name is Madame Fife. And yeah, we're really excited that you're here. I will pass it on to Madame Anderson.
Merci, Madame Fife. Bonjour, hello. It was so nice to see some faces before we started. I, like everyone, am quite sad that we can't meet in person. I just want to welcome everyone. The reason we teach kindergarten is for the students and the families, and I just get really excited when I get to see we have 50 people in on this meeting, and that's so great. So welcome. We hope that we can answer all of your questions. I know kindergarten is an exciting, and it brings up a lot of questions about who, what, where, when, why. We hope to answer those in our presentation. Like Madame Fournier said, please save questions until the end because hopefully we cover it in our presentation. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in Saskatoon. I grew up in River Heights. I went through French immersion with Saskatoon Public Schools, K to 12, and now I have 4 kids, and my 3 boys are school aged and they attend French immersion also. So much like Madame Fife, I have nothing but good things to say about my French immersion experience and now my kids' French immersion experiences. And yeah, we are just looking forward to a good Zoom tonight. On to our agenda. So we just want to give you a little bit about what to expect for our presentation. Madame Fife and we have a PowerPoint with a lot of information for you. It is a lot of information, I keep saying this, but don't worry, we will provide this information to you again. So it's kind of overload right now, but I think that as we go through it, we'll answer most of the common questions. And then we're excited about this because we can't be in the school tonight for our open house. We put together a little video, and so we'll look at that later. And then Madame Roach will come on to talk a bit about busing and registration for those of you that haven't yet registered for kindergarten. And then we will do our formal Q&A where we will try to answer all of your questions. French immersion. Like I said, I went through French immersion and my kids are in French immersion. The biggest thing parents want to know is, do I need to speak French for my child to be in French immersion? No, you do not. We start slowly. Madame Fife and I both believe that, of course, the goal ultimately is to be fully in French as you go through the grades in French immersion. But in kindergarten, our main goal is to make the students feel welcome and we make them feel comfortable here. So we are not fully French from day one by any means. We start slow, lots of practice, repetition. We tend to say everything in French and English. So we might say, bonjour mes amis en français, and then we would say, hello friends in English. So we're saying a lot of repetition and we're doing Madame says, and then the students say. So that's something that, especially lots of my friends who are children are starting school, if they're wondering about French immersion, is that it's a slow start and we really introduce it in a nice way so that students can learn with us. listening to instructions, following along, gestures. I'm a hand talker as it is. And so we use a lot of gestures for French immersion, and it really helps create a good French start for their K-12 experience.
Awesome. Yeah, so I just want to talk a little bit about our kindergarten program and what to expect. So the first thing, the most important, is that we are inquiry and play-based. And I'll talk a little bit about that in the next couple of slides. But basically that means that we do a lot of hands-on learning, crafts, experiments, a lot of playtime outside and in the classroom. And students also get to go to phys ed with Mr. Heimers and Mr. Ukrainitz, and also art with Madame Olfert. So it's really cool that they get to make those other connections with the different teachers in our school. And then also they get to make those connections with our entire school. So this year we've been having virtual assemblies, which my students actually love. They get super excited seeing their cousins or their siblings or their friends in different classes. They get really excited seeing them on our screen. So that's just been a really cool way to get to know other people in our school virtually. And then also Spirit Days. We actually have one coming up next week for our kindergarten classes that they're really excited about. And that's just a good way to get connected with our school community and get excited about school. And one thing that I think is really important is that Madame Anderson and I are super lucky. We love working together and we collaborate on basically all of our content. So no matter which classroom you're in, you're going to get a very similar kindergarten program. And yeah, we're just really lucky that way. So a little bit about inquiry play-based learning, like I mentioned in the last slide. Basically what that means is that it's really student-led. So the students are asking questions, thinking, wondering about certain things. And then play-based means that we're playing a lot. So we do a lot of exploration. And just some of the awesome benefits of play-based inquiry learning is that it helps support student skills. So they get to make new friendships, collaborating, problem solving, that kind of thing. It's really good for French language. So they're using the different words they're learning while they're playing. Numbers too, they use numbers while they're playing as well. And just having that initiative, so they get to take basically control of what they want to learn about. And I found in my class at Madame Anderson's, when the students are kind of leading their inquiries, they're really motivated and engaged because it's their idea. And they get to be really creative. So you can see on the slide just a couple examples of our crafts we've been doing based on the inquiries. And then I just want to show a couple examples of our inquiry-based learning this year. So you can see on the left, we actually did a pumpkin inquiry in October. So my students were really excited about pumpkins. They're seeing them in the store, at home. So I brought in pumpkins and each table had their own. We did lots of experiments. We saw if they could float in water. We cut them open and counted seeds, counted the lines. There's just so many things that you can do and expand on when it is student-led. And then the middle picture, actually, this kind of was cool how it happened. Madame Anderson and I put on a little penguin video at snack time and then a polar bear one. And it just grew and grew into this huge Arctic animal and winter animal theme that they loved. It just kept going on and we kept building on it with vocabulary, environment, all that kind of stuff that is in our curriculum. And they were so engaged. We actually made this little table together as a class. And it was really cool to see them playing together and using our vocab. So yeah, inquiry is just, we love doing it in kindergarten and it's a great way to learn.
So literacy and numeracy centers. Now this is something that we do every afternoon in our kindergarten classrooms. And lots of the students just call this playtime, but in reality it is targeted skills that Madame Fife and I are working on. So we choose specific centers based on a skill we want to target, whether it's fine motor skills, whether it's printing, alphabet recognition. There's lots of things. So in these two examples, we picked some examples. The photo here, the girl is just making beautiful rainbow links, but what it works out to be is she's working on French numbers, French couleur. She's using fine motor with the links. And so the kids will always say, do we have playtime? And I always say, oh, it's actually centre, it's center time. And so every afternoon we bring out centers and put them at each table, and students work in small groups with their table group. And then they rotate through the centers so that they get to try all of the skills that Madame and I are targeted.
Yeah, so to kind of build on that from our centers, math numeracy is a huge part of our kindergarten program. We love working with different numbers and integrating that into our playtime and outdoor learning as well. So just a couple ways that we really like learning about numbers in our class and Madame Anderson's are through small groups, like she'd mentioned, centers, math games. On this slide, you can see we just have a new Lego addition board game that my kids have been loving. They build the tallest tower, and it's just a way to make it really fun. And then of course, large group discussions, large group games. Another game that both of our classes really like is called the whiteboard game. So Madame Anderson and I put a number or a group of objects on the board, and everyone has their own individual whiteboard, and they have to either write the correct number or draw that specific number of objects. And then they all hold it up. They're all so excited, which is just an awesome way to get them engaged. Yeah, and then another thing I wanted to mention is that when you walk into Madame Anderson and I's classrooms, you will notice that a lot of the posters are created by the students, not just by us. And we think that it's really important for students to be represented in their classroom. It's their area too, and their space that they're learning in. So you can actually see on the left are number posters. So like I mentioned with Inquiry, this was a student-led project. They really wanted to make posters for their numbers. So they led it, they all collaborated, my two classes. And yeah, it's really cool. Even when they're lining up to go to snack, I still hear them saying, oh, which picture did you draw? Or which one is yours? And it's just really cool to see them taking ownership of their work and just being really proud of it. So yeah, we love using numbers in our classrooms.
Literacy, a big component of kindergarten in English or in French immersion, is our literacy. And when we look at literacy in French immersion kindergarten, our main target, especially for the first half of the year, is learning the French alphabet names and the sounds that each letter makes. So we start the top photo with the S. We have alphabet poems. And so we do a letter every day that they come to kindergarten. And we start with a poem or a song that goes along with it. And then they have alphabet journals. So we're going to take our alphabet poem and we're going to put it into a journal, practicing writing the words, listening for the sounds and beginning letters. And then the picture on the right is actually center time, where the students just think they're having fun, but they're actually doing some literacy hands-on with partners at small tables. I think as we move on, we've completed one whole round of alphabet letters already because kindergarten is so far along this year. And the funniest thing was, as we were approaching the end of our first cycle of alphabet, I heard one student say, well, Madame, what do we do when we get to the end of the alphabet? And another student said, well, then kindergarten's over. We're already ready for grade 1. We know all of our alphabet. So we've started a second round now where we just build on that. So the first round, we're really looking at the letters at the beginning of words. And you can see that in that little poem, the S is at the beginning of each word. And now in our second round, we're looking at the S more in the middle or ending of words. So it's all about French letters, knowing the French letter sounds. And one question that parents have is, how do I get them ready for that if I don't know French? Practicing in English, the alphabet, 100% helps for when they come to learn it in French immersion. So those of you that at home that maybe don't have French, there's probably a lot of you. The best thing you can do is just practice your alphabet recognition in English or your first language that you speak at home. And that will really help them already be ready for French alphabet learning when they come to kindergarten.
So another thing that's really important to Madame Anderson and I is learning outdoors. So we both love being outside. We have a really great schoolyard that we go out and learn in. So usually we'll take our kids out to play a little bit at the end of the day now that it's getting really nice and warm. At the beginning of the year, we did a lot of awesome activities with leaves and different sticks. You can do counting and patterning. There's just so much rich learning that happens outside. And we really love taking our kids out there to have sharing circles or read stories. And actually today we had our very first snack outside now that it's a little bit dry. Yeah, and the kids, they just loved it. One of my students said, it's like a fun picnic. So it's just really awesome to get out there and do our learning outside. And another thing I want to mention is that it's really good for collaboration, building those social skills, getting to know their classmates. This picture was actually a couple months ago when it was a little bit colder. The whole school worked to build this at their different recesses. And when our class was out there at their time, they were all working together, passing each other the blocks of snow. And it was just really cool to see them problem solving and working together. So yeah, we try to get outside as much as possible.
Morning routine. The foundation of our kindergarten program, the solid learning happens in the morning when students first arrive. Everyone's fresh and we're not tired yet from a long kindergarten day. So Madame Fife and I, we really work hard in the first few weeks and months of kindergarten to establish a really solid morning routine. The pillars of our morning routine here in our classrooms are morning message. And the one picture shows that's my morning message on the board with one of my students working hard to copy it. So that says, wow, il fait beau dehors. And every message pertains to what we're doing in class that day, or perhaps what the school community is doing for a certain week. So they're really relevant to what we're doing. They come in, they find the morning message on the tableau on the board. And then in the beginning, we usually just copy them onto our own personal whiteboards because we're just coming in, you know, learning how to print, and it's possibly a new skill starting kindergarten. So we start on little whiteboards, and then as the year progresses, we move to alphabet journals, which is the picture on the left of the student printing. So printing practice is a big part of kindergarten and our morning routine, where we have our morning journals and we practice finger spacing, which I chose this picture because it's really good, a really good example of practicing finger spacing when you're writing. And we practice correct letter formation. We do calendar also in our morning routine. So right after morning message, then we do calendar. Calendar is an awesome time to talk about the weather, days of the week, and the French vocab that goes with days of the week, months of the year. We count the days on the calendar. We talk about aujourd'hui, today, yeah, and we do a lot of kind of poems and acting out using our French vocab in the morning. And then on there it says we enjoy a snack together. So depending on our schedule, and this year with our COVID routines, it was a little bit different. We went out for recess a little bit earlier. So this year we have our morning snack right after recess. But we do have 2 snacks a day in kindergarten that students bring from home to eat, and then also a lunch break just with the rest of the school. But our morning routine, both Madame Fife and I really love it because of the solid French vocabulary that we get in the morning.
Mm-hmm. So another thing that's really important to us are body breaks and mindfulness breaks. So in kindergarten, we know that we need to move around a lot. We can't stay sitting for too long. So we do quite a few body breaks regularly throughout the day. Depending on our needs, we do them more often certain days. And yeah, we just think that it's a really good way to engage our minds and our bodies. Healthy minds mean healthy bodies as well. So yeah, we just love doing either dance parties, dance and freeze parties. We do little like yoga, stretching, that kind of thing, just to get out of our chairs and move around the room. And then after we do a body break, we always do a calm down mindfulness activity where we do some deep breathing, just to get us ready and prepared for the learning that comes after that.
Oh, this is one of my favorite slides, play and exploration. This is about my favorite thing about teaching kindergarten is the play. We have a large portion of our school days set aside for play and exploration. The kindergarten curriculum recognizes and values what play brings. And actually the one picture on the left, it's funny because we chose a center picture. What happens is we have these centers and then the students actually choose them for playtime, which is great to see because it's just more learning. For play and exploration, it is free choice around our room. And so students are free to, this year we have masks on, we sanitize before and after play. Each time we take a different toy, we sanitize before and after. And this one, I love this because this to me is where they interact with their peers. They are cooperating, they are communicating, and it is really the basis of kindergarten and why we're here to learn together. And it's also a chance for Madame Fife and I to sit down and play with the students also. We wanted to touch a little bit about on that this does look different this year with our COVID-19 guidelines and of course our first priority, keeping the kiddos safe. We're not sure what our guidelines will be for the fall, but I can talk about what they look like this year. And so we did have to remove some of our larger toys from our classrooms this year, simply to make more space so that we were able to spread out around the room a little bit more to keep distanced a little bit. The thing we were both really, nervous about before school started this year was, will we still get to play? And the answer is yes, we play. You know what? Every day that I'm here, I'm just so thankful that it still feels like kindergarten. The students still get to play. We have a ton of toys that they still get to use. We sanitize them regularly, and it means more cleaning, but it is kindergarten. It is playing. And we're so thankful that we're still able to do that. In this one, board games. Madam.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. In this one, we have tons of board games, which are awesome for cooperation and turn taking and fine motor. And then the one on the left was actually a craft we had already done earlier in the day. And some of the girls said, ma'am, I want to do that for playtime. So they really do have a lot of choice of what they're doing. Sometimes students will bring toys from home or games from home to play with their school friends too. So tons of options and tons of play. Merci, madame.
Yeah. So yeah, the first couple of days of kindergarten, they are some of our favorite times that we have in kindergarten. The most important thing I think to note is that we do have staggered start days. So that means that when your child comes for their very first day of kindergarten, it will be a half day. And they're just going to be in a smaller group, which Madame Anderson and I both love. It gives us a really good opportunity to get to know the student more in a smaller setting, and just so they can get to know their friends, their classmates, get to know routines. We usually have snack together, read a book, do a craft, get a little tour of the school, and go for recess. So it's just a really good way to ease into kindergarten. And I know all my students are usually super excited to come back for their first full day. So that's something that they always look forward to. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that our number one thing that we want in kindergarten, Madame Anderson and I, is that students love coming to school. This is their first experience with school. And we just want them to really feel welcomed and included and valued. And just so that they know that we love having them here, and that they can feel really happy at school.
Dates and important information. So we've spoken quite a bit about what kindergarten looks like in our classrooms here at Ecole Victoria. And we're going to show a video shortly that shows you a little bit about that since we can't be here. Excuse me. The staggered start, Madame Fife just talked about that. I remember when my oldest started kindergarten, I said, what does a staggered start mean? Everyone starts on a different day. It is we will send you a letter with your exact day that you need to start and what to bring and what that day will look like. So it's nothing to worry about right now. It just really gives students a chance. Instead of meeting the whole class at once, they'll meet with smaller groups just the first week so that we can really focus on each student as they come in the building. But again, we will have your exact day that you come, and there won't be any questions surrounding that when you get your letter. Kindergarten days, we alternate. Madame Fife mentioned she's the full-time kindergarten teacher, so she teaches every day. She has one group Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then the Tuesday, Thursday group comes, and then the other Friday. So the alternating Fridays, we often have questions around that. Still do, and it's April. In both of our classrooms, we are very specific. We always send reminders and emails and a newsletter that says, yes, you have kindergarten this Friday, or no kindergarten this Friday. It says alternating Fridays. In reality, it's not quite every other Friday. So there's no need to worry about that. We provide a schedule as well as send reminders throughout the year, whether you have school on the Friday or not. I was that parent. I think it was my third son, which you'd think I'd know what I was doing. I brought him to school one day and I said, where's the class? Oh, no kindergarten today. Right. So I myself appreciate those reminders. So we do that for you so you don't have to think about, oh no, is it kindergarten today? Busing, Mrs. Roach is going to talk about that right away. And like I said, you will receive a letter once you've registered. If you choose Ecole Victoria, if we're so lucky that you choose our school, you will receive a letter with important information and everything that you need to know. So do not worry. Merci.
So now we have a video that we've put together. So this is kind of a day in the life of kindergarten. We want to really show you what it's like in our classrooms, coming in from recess, and that kind of thing. We recognize that normally families would be able to come into the school, see our classrooms, get a feel for the area. So we're hoping that this gives you a good feel for our classrooms and just our school. So yeah, and we will hold questions until the end when we have our question period. So yeah, we hope that you enjoy.